such a minute category for them. It's just easier for the buyer with all they have to do that. I'm just going to yield that. Vic's the category captain. I'm just going to stick Vic in there, and that becomes a bigger challenge for us. So.
Okay. Got it. And margins though. So the question is on margins. What do you think the margins is gonna do? So you have pricing power, but you have volume is declining now. Maybe of course more for Big probably versus you guys. I don't know if there will be different answer to this, but what do you think the margins would look like? Would it be flat, up or down? Do you think? Is there going to be more pressure either way?
I think it really, I'll be honest, I think it depends on the retailer that you're calling on. And the buyer, if they can make the margin up, in another category, they may be willing to, stay at the 50, or if Vic comes in with a better program and their margins are reduced to 45. I think that you have reached in some areas, I think that you've reached a price elasticity issue where, a Bic lighter at $289 for a single Bic lighter is just too much. And I think you're steadily fast approaching that mark where retailers or consumers are not going to, that's just too much. I'm not going to do it.
So what are they going to do? What's the alternative? Is to buy your lighter or because in the food, mass and drug, there's no alternative, right? Or you can trade down?
So typically, 70% of your purchases at the C-store are impulse. So you buy a pack of cigarettes and, you want a lighter with it. Yeah, I need a lighter. And, when a lighter's $59, yeah, I'll take the lighter. When it reaches over a certain point, I think the consumer's going to be like, no, I don't need a lighter. I've got one in the car. And typically people have, five lighters floating around someplace else. And I think the consumer will kind of look at that and that's just too much. I'm not going to do it. No, I don't need another lighter. And they'll get their cigarettes and they'll move on to something else. So that's one thing. So you'll lose your impulse sales. The other thing, it's possible that maybe they just trade down. So if a Bic regular lighter is $289, Bic offers an in-between lighter between their mini lighter and their regular lighter. Maybe they move to that lighter where it's 20 cents cheaper. The possibility of that. So you're trading the consumer down. So I do think that we're fast approaching that.
And when do you stop following Bic in terms of price increases? When do you say, listen, I'm not going to take that price increase because then I'm just playing into Bic's hands. I'm just going to go for go for the 5%, 6% growth instead.
Well, I think that plays into our hands because we've kind of pledged that we're going to hold our pricing to where they're at. So we're 10 to 15 cents cheaper. I think that's where the opportunity comes in. And as a company, we've made the strategic decision that we're going to try to hold prices where they're at. Now, obviously, things change with tariffs and things coming in, as they're changing now. But that we feel gives us an opportunity to come in and, if the retailer doesn't want to continue to increase their price because they view the price as being maxed out where it's at, then that gives us the opportunity to go in and say, hey, we can provide you with the same quality product, but we're less, and we get your margins back up to where they're at. So that's kind of the philosophy that we're looking at. Like I said, I know Bic took a price increase last year. They seem to have come to a philosophy where they're staggering, meaning that they may hold steady for C-store and C-store wholesalers, but they'll take the price increase with grocery. So this year, I think it was a grocery big box retailer increase. And then 2 years ago or a year ago, it was C-stores. So I don't know where they're going for, next year or what they're doing. But I do know at this point in time, they are getting some criticism for the price increases. I say that. I would love to say pushback, but the pushback really is not coming. You have a lot of buyers that say, man, Bic continues to increase prices every year, But yet in that same breath, those buyers are not to the point where they want to flip programs. So that's frustrating from our point of view, but it shows how much market dominance and brand recognition they have at these retailers. So.
Got it. And may I ask you another question on raw materials prices? How important is that? And